Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're all having a wonderful time. Here we got a quick guide on the Whirlwind Barbarian in Diablo 4. And this is going to be more of a beginner type of a guide on how you can get started with this build. We're not going to include any of the uniques or legendaries that only can drop as world drops, meaning that you can simply target from the aspect from different kinds of dungeons to get your build started. I'm currently at level 54, and in the background here you can see my first nightmare dungeon while we go over all that you need to know. So basically about the build, the Whirlwind Barbarian is a very iconic build that simply makes us spin around dealing damage while we are moving at the cost of spending fury. We're using different shouts to buff ourselves for bonuses for offense and defense, and also to keep our fury up. We're also using a ultimate ability, Call of the Ancient, that will summon Korlik, Talik and Medoak to aid you in the battle for 6 seconds. While they are active, we also gain some extra fury generation here as well. The gameplay is very beginner friendly, making it a great choice of a build for new and also casual players. But also as you progress further into the endgame, it can take on any open world content and also nightmare dungeon easily. And let's go over the aspects of the build, and as I mentioned at the start, we are only going to cover the ones that we are actually can target from dungeons, so you can get started with the build. I will however do provide some additional ones that you can look for. Each aspect will also have the location on where you can find them. You can also go to the D4 build planner where all the dungeons aspects are listed. Link will be in the description. Starting with the weapons here, going for the one-handers here, we want to start with Aspect of Berserking Ripping. And this makes it so whenever you deal direct damage while berserking, we inflict a percentage of the base damage dealt as additional bleeding damage over 5 seconds. Edgemaster Aspect makes it so heal deal up to a percentage increased damage based on your available primary resource when cast, receiving the maximum benefits while you have full primary resource. Aspect of the Dire Whirlwind makes it so Whirlwind's critical strike chance is increased by a percent, and it will increase while we are channeling the skill. And this is also going to be the aspect that you want to get as soon as you can. The other one that we are using is called Aspect of Ancient Echoes, and this makes it while Call of the Ancients is on our action bar, we will have a chance while using Whirlwind to summon a ancient that will perform the same skill. Some optional ones that you want to look for is going to be Considered Aspect, and this makes it so we deal a percentage of increased damage while we have a barrier active. Another one that we can look for is going to be Aspect of Limited Rage. This makes it so each point of fury we generate while at maximum fury grants our next core skill deal increased damage. Next up for the rings, and here we have Aspect of Echoing Fury, and this makes it so our shouts will generate fury per second while they are active. Really important one to have. The second ring is going to be Aspect of the Umbral, making us restore our primary resource when we crowd control a enemy. An optional one here, and also a highly recommended one to try to get as soon as possible, is going to be Bold Chieftain Aspect, and this makes it so whenever we cast a shout skill, its cooldown is reduced per nearby enemy, making it really good for this build to keep our shouts up. Ghostbuster Aspects makes us while we are unstoppable, and for 4 seconds after we gain a percentage of increased movement speed, and also makes it so we can move freely through enemies. Relentless Berserking Aspects makes us damaging an enemy with a core skill has a chance to extend the duration of berserking by 1 second. Iron Blood makes us gain a percentage of damage reduced for each nearby bleeding enemy up to a maximum of 20%. The Rapid Aspect makes us so our basic skill gain a percentage of attack speed. A optional one here would also be the Exploiter Aspects, making us increase crowd control duration, and also while enemy are unstoppable, we deal a percentage of increased damage to them. Aspect of Disobedience makes us gain a percentage to increased armor for 4 seconds when we deal any form of damage, and this will stack up to a maximum of 50%. Aspect of the protector, making it once we damage a elite enemy will grant us a barrier absorbing flat amount of damage for 10 seconds. Some stats to look for this build is going to be cooldown reduction, resource generation and also maximum fury, and these are going to be the most important stats for this build as we want to be able to use Whirlwind and also having our shouts up as much as possible. Some other ones to look for is also going to be vulnerable damage, critical strike damage, damage to closed enemies, core skill damage, damage to slowed enemies, strength, all stats, health, movement speed, and also ranks to Whirlwind and Rally Cry. The main glyph that you want to start with is going to be the martial one, and this makes it so after we cast a shout skill, the active cooldown of every other shout skill is reduced by 1.2 seconds. This will help keeping our shout up as much as possible. The arsenal system allows the barbarian to grant herself different bonuses depending on the weapon of choice. For the technique slot here, we want to take the two-handed axe, makes us deal 15% increased damage to vulnerable enemies. For the skills, we're using lunging strike. This will make us lunge forward and strike a enemy. Here we're also using combat lunging strike. Whirlwind will make us rapidly attack surrounding enemies. And here we want to go for the Furious Whirlwind. Rallying Cry is a shout that will increase our movement speed and also our resource generation. Here we're using Tactician Rallying Cry. Challenging Shout is another shout that we are using, taunting nearby enemies, and also we gain some damage reduction here as well. And here we want to go for the Tactical Challenging Shout. Warcry is the last shout that we are using, making us increase our damage dealt. And here you want to go for the Power Warcry. Booming Voice for a longer skill duration for our shouts. Raid Leader will make it so when we use the shouts we will also heal ourselves and allies. Guttering Yell will make it so enemies will deal less damage for us for 5 seconds. Swiftness for more movement speed. Prolific Fury for some more fury generation while we are berserking. Pit Fighter, increased damage to closed enemies and also damage reduction for distant enemies. No Mercy for increased critical strike chance, again immobilize, stun or slowed enemies. Hamstring, very important note here, makes it so our bleed also slow enemies. Call of the Ancients will make us summon 3 Ancients to aid us in battle for 6 seconds. And Supreme Call of the Ancients here makes us so we gain 10 fury each time Corlic damage a enemy with his frenzy. Heavy Handed, so we deal increased critical strike damage. Invigorating Fury makes us heal for 9% of our maximum life for each 100 fury we spend. And lastly, Unbridled Rage makes us so our core skill will deal 135% increased damage, but the cost will increase by 100%. For more information about the build, I do recommend you go and check out the D4 build planner. The link for this will be in the description below. So what do you think about the Whirlwind Barbarian? Sound off in the comments. I also make a more in-depth guide on this build once I progress further into the endgame. I hope this video will help you out to start your journey as the Whirlwind Barbarian. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!